Hi everyone, my name is Taylor Arndt and I am doing my micronutrient presentation on vitamin E. Vitamin E is an important micronutrient that humans need to survive, and it's also used in a lot of different fields, including cosmetics, pharmaceuticals, food, and medicine. So I'm going to start off with a little bit about the chemical properties of vitamin E. So it's a fat-soluble vitamin, and it's kind of like a thick yellow oil. And there's actually 8 different compounds that are kind of under the name vitamin E. So you have tocopherols, which you can see on the bottom left. They have a saturated side chain. And then tocotrienols, you can see on the bottom right, have an unsaturated side chain. You can see the double bonds there. And then for each of those 2 groups, you can either have alpha, beta, gamma, or delta. And the difference between all of those are the R groups on that first ring there on the left. And alpha tocopherol is the most abundant form of vitamin E in your body. And that just has 2 methyl groups on that those 2 R groups. Some of the foods that contain vitamin E are seeds, fruits, green leafy vegetables, vegetable oils, or you can take supplements. For adults, they recommend getting at least 15 milligrams a day, and then for kids, it depends on the age, but it ranges from 4 to 11 milligrams a day. And then usually we don't actually get enough vitamin E or the recommended amount, but we typically won't experience any complications because of that. It is a lot more common to experience complications if you also have a disease that doesn't allow you to absorb fat properly. However, some of the complications that can occur are nerve and muscle damage as well as vision problems. And then if you are getting too much vitamin E, which is a lot, it messes with the coagulation of your blood and can risk bleeding in the brain, which can ultimately cause a stroke and death. After you eat the foods that contain vitamin E, it's going to be absorbed by your small intestine. All the forms of vitamin E are absorbed by your small intestine and then taken up by your liver. And then only the alpha tocopherol, which is the most abundant form in your body, that's the only form that's going to be released by the liver. And then all the other forms are going to be metabolized and secreted. And then after the vitamin E is circulating in your body, it takes on a lot of different roles to keep you healthy. I found a lot of roles that vitamin E plays in your body, but the 2 most common ones that I found were that it acts as an antioxidant and it induces the immune response. So it acts as an antioxidant because it protects your cells from free radicals that are produced from either just the food that you eat or from carcinogens like UV light and air pollution. And it does this by sharing an electron with the free radical that has an unshared electron, because otherwise it would take it from your cells, and that's what causes cancer. And then vitamin E also induces the immune response through gene expression, which I'll talk about a little bit later. It also increases membrane stability and helps with cell regulation, including enzyme activity, cell signaling, and cell proliferation, and also gene expression. And then vitamin E inhibits platelet coagulation, and it also can help with other diseases like cardiovascular related diseases. I found conflicting information about that, but I'll get into that a little bit later. So as far as vitamin E's effect on gene expression, it actually does affect the gene expression of T cells. So as you age, your immune response decreases, but vitamin E can improve the function of T cells. They did a study with mice where there were 2 groups, and they were either given given 30 or 500 parts per million of vitamin E. And they found that the mice that had the higher amount of vitamin E had a significant increase in the upregulation of genes that were responsible for cytokines, transcription regulation, signal transduction, cell cycle, and apoptosis. But they still need to do more studies to see if the effect is just on the living cells or if it goes on to affect the memory T cells. And it's also been suggested that vitamin E is important in ROS-related diseases like cardiovascular disease, and ROS is reactive oxygen species, which are free radicals. They say that vitamin E can help with ROS disease because it has been shown to have inhibitory effects on the expression of ROS enzymes, but they haven't had any studies that actually show that vitamin E directly benefits people with ROS diseases. So here's a forest plot of a meta-analysis that contained 19 different studies, but all of these studies looked at the effect of the dosage of vitamin E on all-cause death, and all the doses in all the studies were higher than the recommended daily value, which was 15 milligrams. But the 8 studies on the top half looked at doses ranging from 16.5 to 330 milligrams of vitamin E a day, and the 11 studies on the bottom looked at much higher doses, which ranged from 400 to 2,000 milligrams a day. So the diamond under the top 8 studies is to the left of the no effect line, meaning that on average between those 8 studies there's no statistical significance. But you can see the second diamond from the bottom shows the average for those 11 studies, and the diamond is on the right of the no effect line, showing that within those studies there is a significance regarding high levels of vitamin E and death. So overall, between all the studies combined, they concluded that the higher levels of vitamin E you consume, beginning around like 400 milligrams and up, the higher risk of death you have. I found a paper that did a GWAS and a CGAS study, and CGAS, which is CGAS, is a candidate gene-associated study, which is the same as a GWAS, but they're looking at pre-specified genes of interest. And they did these studies to find genetic variations that affect the status of vitamin E in your body. So I listed the SNPs on the genes that they were found. And these genes make sense because the CYP4F2 gene encodes a cytochrome that catabolizes vitamin E. The SCARB1 gene encodes a plasma membrane receptor that takes up vitamin E. And then the APOA5 was one of the genes in a cluster where that SNP was found, but the other 2 genes in the cluster had no role in vitamin E production, and APOA5 is concerned with triglyceride levels. So they assumed that it was the APOA5 gene that was affecting the status of vitamin E. Alright, that is my presentation on the micronutrient vitamin E. Thank you for watching.